ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is a neurodevelopmental condition that affects people of all genders, ages, and backgrounds. It's not just schoolboys who have ADHD. There have been many studies on the fact that ADHD is often underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed in women, with so many women living with the condition without realizing it. I also know that to be true from my own experience. This gender bias in diagnosis has significant implications for women's mental health, self-perception, and overall well-being. In this video, I'll explore the various factors contributing to the misdiagnosis of ADHD in women and shed light on this really complex issue. Oh, and in case you were wondering, yes, I have ADHD, and I was diagnosed in February of this year, 2023, at the age of 53. So this is, yet again, another topic I can talk about with much confidence. I'm Jo Banks. I've been a professional executive business coach for almost 15 years, and I'm sharing what I know. Before I get into the detail of today's topic, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could just take a moment to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because it really does make such a massive difference to helping me build this channel. So I really appreciate it if you do that. Females and misdiagnosis. Since my diagnosis, I've seen an ever-increasing number of women who have or are in the process of getting a formal ADHD diagnosis. Just this year, I've coached over 20 women who have either been diagnosed with ADHD or through my coaching, I was able to recognize the symptoms and help them through the diagnostic process, which in the UK is not an easy one. I must say as well that I can't diagnose ADHD, but I sure can spot the signs. Previously, all of these women, including myself, have been diagnosed with anxiety, depression, early menopause, menopause symptoms, or other sorts of mental health issues. In not one case, including my own, did doctors or a doctor mention potential ADHD, even where the symptoms have persisted since childhood. Once you understand how ADHD manifests in women, which is markedly different to men and completely different to young boys, it's actually incredibly easy to spot it in both yourself and others. Not that I recommend going around diagnosing people. That can only be done by a psychiatrist. But it can help you understand yourself and others more deeply. It also answers a lot of unanswered questions. Now that I'm very much neurodivergence informed, I've been able to support clients in getting formal diagnosis if they want one, not everyone does, and help them put interventions in place to manage their symptoms, allowing them to live happier, healthier, and more productive lives. As I say in so many of my videos, knowledge is power and awareness is everything. We can't change what we're not aware of. So my main aim in sharing this information, including all the stuff I have on ADHD on my website, which you can check out at jobanks.net, and in sharing my own very personal story and journey, is to raise awareness. I'm very well aware that people are going to judge me for actually coming out and saying out loud that I have ADHD, but there are too many people struggling unnecessarily. And whilst I'm not aware of a cure for ADHD, there are many benefits if the symptoms are managed correctly. I'm sure I'll talk way more about that in other videos. However, for this video, let's take a look at the 5 ways that ADHD present in women and why it's often missed. Stereotypical symptoms and diagnostic criteria. ADHD is commonly associated with hyperactivity, impulsivity, and disruptive behaviour, which are always more prevalent in males. This stereotype has shaped the diagnostic criteria, making it less sensitive to the manifestations of ADHD in females. Women with ADHD tend to exhibit symptoms that differ from the classical presentation, such as internalized struggles, daydreaming, disorganization, and emotional dysregulation. These atypical symptoms are often overlooked or attributed to conditions like anxiety or depression, leading to misdiagnosis or missed diagnosis. Women and girls are far less likely to be hyperactive or disruptive than their male counterparts, mainly due to cultural conditioning. Masking and camouflaging behaviours. Women with ADHD are more likely to develop coping mechanisms that mask their symptoms, often due to societal expectations or pressures to conform. Growing up, girls are often told to be a good girl and act ladylike. They're taught that over-enthusiastic or unruly behaviour is unattractive, so they learn to bury their hyperactivity, impulsivity, and potential disruptiveness. This camouflaging behaviour, or we often refer to it as masking, allows us to blend in and compensate for our attention difficulties. However, it also makes it harder for clinicians to recognise the underlying ADHD symptoms, as we tend to appear competent, organised, successful on the surface. The effort required to maintain this facade can be mentally exhausting and may contribute to feelings of inadequacy or anxiety. I always wondered why I would feel so drained after what I call peopling. In other words, delivering training, whether that's virtually or in person, or when I've been doing motivational speaking. I literally have to lie down in a quiet room when I get home to bring my nervous system back into alignment. I never realised until my diagnosis that that was because of my ADHD. Hormonal influences and life transitions. Hormonal fluctuations during puberty, menstruation, pregnancy, and menopause can exacerbate ADHD symptoms in women. These hormonal shifts can lead to changes in attention, mood, and overall cognitive function. As a result, we may seek professional help during these periods, revealing symptoms that have been present but less noticeable in other phases of our lives. Unfortunately, these symptoms are often misinterpreted as hormonal imbalances or unrelated mood disorders, further delaying accurate ADHD diagnosis. Dr. Daniel Amen writes extensively about ADHD, and he says that mild ADHD in women can become much more noticeable during menopause. That certainly happened to me, and what was once manageable ADHD, even though I didn't know I had it, the symptoms became unmanageable when I went into perimenopause. Social and cultural factors. Societal expectations and gender norms significantly influence how ADHD is perceived and diagnosed. Girls, as I've already mentioned, are often expected to be more compliant, organised, and quiet compared to boys, making it easier for our symptoms to go unnoticed. In addition, the prevailing stereotype of ADHD as a disorder primarily affecting young boys can lead to biases in assessment and diagnosis. Consequently, girls and women with ADHD may face skepticism or even disbelief from healthcare professionals, friends, family, even themselves, which hampers their access to appropriate support and treatment. And that is something I see again and again and again with my clients. In fact, all of my clients, all of the people that I've worked with who have ADHD have said those things. Lack of awareness and education. Limited awareness and knowledge about the unique presentation of ADHD in women contributes to the misdiagnosis and underdiagnosis problem. Healthcare professionals, educators, and the general public may be less familiar with the specific challenges faced by women with ADHD, leading to missed opportunities for early identification and intervention. Raising awareness about the diverse symptoms and experiences of ADHD in women is therefore crucial in reducing misdiagnosis and ensuring proper support. The wrap up. The misdiagnosis of ADHD in women is a complex issue with multiple contributing factors. Stereotypical symptoms, masking behaviours, hormonal influences, social expectations, and a general lack of awareness play a role in this gender bias. Recognising and addressing these challenges through improved diagnostic criteria, education, and awareness is essential for ensuring that women, like myself, with ADHD receive timely and appropriate support. By empowering women to understand their unique experiences and advocating for gender-inclusive approaches to diagnosis and treatment, we can help close the gap in ADHD identification and provide much-needed help and support. If you think you or someone close to you may have ADHD, I recommend that you do your research and gather evidence, which is what I did. If you're in the UK, I recommend visiting the Right to Choose page on the Psychiatry UK website. I'll leave the link below for more information on getting a diagnosis. If you're in the US or another country, it will be really helpful if you can leave some information about the diagnostic process in the comments section below for others to read. That would be super helpful. Thank you very much if you can do that. As for me, getting my diagnosis has been hugely helpful. I fall into the category of ADHD is my superpower, but I know not everybody thinks that way when they get their diagnosis. It tends to very much fall into two camps, the superpower versus wasted life syndrome. That's not actually a diagnosis, by the way. That's just what I like to call it. I haven't gone down the medication route. I have found other ways to manage my less helpful symptoms. However, my diagnosis has allowed me to be kinder to myself and put things in place to support rather than hinder me. Again, I will discuss this in more detail in upcoming videos. What next? As I've mentioned, I've got lots of information on ADHD and the other topics that I've been discussing on my channel over on my website at jobanks.net. There's also lots of freebies on there, so hop across when you finish this video and have a look. You can also sign up for my weekly newsletter on there too. I'm going to be doing so much more on ADHD in the coming weeks, so please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss a thing. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover regarding ADHD or anything else, please leave them in the comments section below. Finally, thanks to everybody who stays until the very end, and thank you so much for your continued support. It means the world to me.